When people imagine billionaires, they often picture flashy lifestyles, luxury cars, designer clothes, giant mansions, and non-stop public attention. In fact, some billionaires dress simply, avoid attention, and live far more quietly than most people expect. Because in the world of appearance, wealth is often treated as something that should be visible in order to be believed. But if you step away from that surface-level world and study real billionaires, especially those who built their wealth over decades rather than overnight fame, you begin to notice something completely different. Because truly wealthy people often understand something that many others don't. While many people spend money to look rich, billionaires often focus on protecting wealth, growing assets, maintaining privacy, and thinking long-term. If they have more money than almost anyone else on the planet, why don't they act like it? Why do some of the richest people live surprisingly quiet, low-profile, and simple-looking lives compared to what people expect? The answer is not about personality alone, it is about psychology, strategy, and a completely different understanding of what wealth actually means. So let's go deeper into the real reasons. 10. At that level, wealth is no longer about approval for most people. Money and status are still tied to external validation, meaning success feels real only when others can see it, admire it, or recognize it. But for billionaires, this stage is long gone. By the time someone reaches extreme wealth, money is no longer used to prove worth. It is used to build systems, protect assets, and expand long-term influence. So the idea of showing off becomes unnecessary, because their reality is already proven through ownership, investments, and control, not public perception. In simple terms, they no longer need to convince anyone that they are successful. 9. Privacy becomes a form of wealth itself. One of the biggest mindset shifts at extreme wealth is that privacy becomes more valuable than attention. While most people chase visibility, billionaires often protect invisibility. Because privacy allows freedom to move, think, invest, and live without constant external pressure or interference. And once someone reaches a certain level of wealth, attention is no longer seen as reward, it is seen as risk. So silence becomes a form of protection, not limitation. 8. Visibility attracts risk, not just admiration. Another major reason billionaires avoid showing off is because visibility naturally attracts risk. The more publicly visible someone's wealth becomes, the more they open themselves to unwanted attention, whether financial targeting, security concerns, or constant public scrutiny. Even in everyday situations, excessive exposure can create complications that most people never consider. So instead of increasing exposure, many wealthy individuals reduce it intentionally. Because at that level, safety is not optional, it is essential. 7. Real wealth is built in systems, not in displays. One of the most important mindset differences is that billionaires focus on building wealth systems, not lifestyle signals. Instead of investing energy into showing what they have, they invest energy into expanding what they own, control, and generate over time. Businesses, investments, real estate, intellectual property, and global systems matter far more than outward appearance. Because in their mindset, real wealth is measured in income-generating power, not visible luxury. So showing off becomes irrelevant compared to building. 6. They understand the difference between income and wealth. Many people confuse high income with real wealth, but billionaires clearly separate the two. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what continues earning for you. And once someone reaches a certain level of financial understanding, they realize that lifestyle display does not increase wealth, it often reduces it. So instead of turning income into visible luxury, they often turn it into assets that grow over time. This is why many wealthy individuals appear simpler than expected. 5. Low-profile lifestyle protects long-term stability. Another reason billionaires avoid showing off is strategic simplicity. A low-profile lifestyle reduces unnecessary pressure, expectations, and financial waste that often comes with maintaining a public image of luxury. Because once you publicly commit to a high-status lifestyle, you are often expected to maintain or upgrade it continuously. So many wealthy individuals avoid that cycle entirely by keeping their lifestyle intentionally understated. This gives them more flexibility, freedom, and long-term financial stability. 4. Control matters more than attention. At the highest level of wealth, control becomes more important than recognition. Control over businesses, investments, time, decisions, and long-term direction matters far more than being seen by others. Many billionaires operate behind the scenes, influencing industries, shaping markets, and building systems without needing public attention. Because in their world, influence without visibility is often more powerful than visibility without control. 3. They avoid emotional spending and image pressure. Another hidden reason behind low visibility is emotional discipline. Showing off wealth often leads to emotional spending, buying things for appearance, social comparison, or status signaling. But billionaires typically avoid financial decisions driven by emotion or social pressure. Instead, they focus on efficiency, long-term value, and strategic outcomes. So avoiding public display also helps protect financial discipline. 2. They think in generations, not moments. Most people make financial and lifestyle decisions based on how things look today or how they will be perceived in the short term. Billionaires, however, often think in terms of decades and generations. So their focus is not on impressing people now, but on building structures that last long after current trends, opinions, or attention cycles disappear. This long-term thinking naturally reduces the desire for temporary validation. 1. The deepest truth behind billionaires staying quiet. When you combine all these factors, one truth becomes very clear. Billionaires do not avoid showing off because they cannot afford it, but because they understand that real wealth does not require constant visibility. Their focus shifts from proving success to preserving it, from attention to control, and from image to impact. And at that level, silence is not emptiness, it is strategy. Because the more powerful someone becomes financially, the less they need to announce it to the world. So when you step back and look at the bigger picture, it becomes clear that billionaire behavior is not about hiding wealth out of fear or secrecy alone, but about understanding that true financial power operates beyond public display. And the real lesson is not just about billionaires, it is about mindset. Because financial success is not defined by how much people see, but by how much you actually own, control, and build in silence. And often, the quietest wealth is the most powerful. And if you found this video valuable, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join a community focused on financial mindset, wealth education, and long-term success. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.